Okay. Hello, everybody. Hi, you. Just wait for a second for some more people to come on in. Because I have something important to share today. Something just hit me recently, about the concept of being worthy and what that really means. And I just had to come on to continue this message because the way that it hit me, I know that it's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot. Because we don't realize how worthy we really are, how truly worthy we really are, and the rights that we have to our gifts to embrace them, you know? And so, as a singer, it can be really easy to compare ourselves to other people. How other people sing, how other singers perform, how they're portrayed. And, we tend to get caught up as well as immersed in, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And the idea of you bringing yourself to being able to do something like that becomes challenging because originally it was not you that you saw doing that. You saw somebody else doing it. So, and let me, I just wanted to make sure I take a moment here to just say that, so this event that we're hosting is going to be a regular weekly Worthy Wednesday. I think the only time I may not do this is on a holiday. Like if there happens to be a holiday or a birthday that we're celebrating within our family and I can't come live, I will notify you. Or I'll pre-record so that you still have something for that Wednesday. But I went with Worthiness Wednesday because there's so many singers who don't realize how worthy they are to have their gift. And they are scared to get up and sing. They're scared to do anything about it. And they let their fear hold them back because they don't have the confidence in themselves to say, well, I'm a great singer and I can do this. Just like they have confidence to do anything else. And sometimes, this is the thing. Have you ever had a moment where you feel like you don't have confidence? Like you want to get up and you want to do something, but you don't have the confidence to do it. Like you're just you're the first thing you do is you talk yourself out of it. You think it's a good idea, but yes, exactly. You think that it's a good idea. Hey, McKenna, thank you so much for coming in. You feel like this is something that you really want to do, but then you talk yourself out of it because you're just like, well, I could do it, but I don't think I could do it like that. But the crazy thing is that spark of you saying I can do it is really the beginnings of you actually do it. It's like planting a seed in a garden and then digging the seed right out before you can even water it. That's what we've been doing, right? And I can say we because I've been there. I've been there before. And it can be hard because you want to be able to bring forth that same glamour and enjoyment and that experience, not really understanding that same exact person who's in front of the camera had to do the same exact thing. Maybe their journey was a little different, but they still had to overcome that fear. They had to overcome their lack of questioning, their lack of confidence, their lack of worthiness, or being aware of their worthiness. I'll put it that way. Because we have confidence, We are worthy. We're worthy of sharing our voice, and I will share my story with you. I remember having the experience of going to college, singing, and even before I went to college, I was still singing in churches, you know, um, and that was one of the biggest things because of the style that I sing in. I sing in opera. I sing opera. I sing everything. I love R&B. I'm not just one opera person, okay? But I love singing opera, and I love opening up my voice and singing. But there were some things that were nurtured into me, that were not invited. That, I would hear such thing as, well, stay humble, or keep quiet, be seen, not heard. I'm pretty sure some of you guys may have heard this before. Yeah. And that did something to me, especially as a younger child growing up. It made me think, okay, so you want me to sing, but you want me to be quiet. How do you make that work? you know? So then what you end up doing is you're internalizing it because you're like, well, I'm good enough to sing, but I'm not really good enough to be myself. And I'm here to tell you right now, that is a lie. You are great enough to be yourself. You are worthy to be the person you are meant to be. Forget what everybody else says. No one else on this earth will be able to ever go through whatever you've gone through and then come out winning, saying that they did everything the same exact way you did it. You want to know why? Because everybody's journey is unique. Everybody is different. I don't want anybody sounding like me when they open their mouth and sing. When I teach my students, sometimes I have moments where I'm teaching another soprano or alto, and I can hear their voice trying to like it's shifting, but then I can tell that there's some tension because they're trying to sound like me, or they're trying to sound like another singer that they've heard. And what they don't realize what they're doing is they're putting stress on their muscles, their larynx. We have a whole system in here that's going on that's helping us to sing. We have to support our breath. We have to understand how the diaphragm works. I'm not even talking about the pronunciation of the words yet, okay? God forbid you're singing in a foreign language, right? Which I do love to do. But there are levels to this. It's not like, well, I'm going to just get up there and do it and then shut down. No, you got to keep going no matter what it is. And so there's this thing with confidence. When there is, and I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to forget anything. I took my time to prepare for this, y'all. I wanted to make sure it comes through right. So it says confidence is the belief in one's abilities to perform specific tasks or roles. It's about trusting your skills and competencies. For instance, you might feel confident in your ability to hit a high note or deliver a captivating performance. Okay? Now, this is the thing that we get confused with, because sometimes we think that it's our confidence we're lacking when it's our self-worth we're lacking. Let me read to you about self-worth. Self-worth, on the other hand, is the intrinsic value you assign to yourself simply because you exist the way you see yourself. Okay? It recognizes that you are valuable and deserving of love and respect. Your abilities and achievements. It is important that you understand those things. It is the understanding that your worth isn't tied to external validations and success. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. There's a difference between confidence and worthiness. Because when I thought to myself, well, I don't have the confidence. I don't know if I have the confidence. Or I'll hear students say, I don't know if I have the confidence to do this. You have the confidence to do it. You just don't understand your self-worth. You don't understand how valuable you are. You don't understand how to love yourself, or even let alone Be free, how to be free enough to accept yourself. Because you've heard somebody earlier in life say, hey, you need to be seen and not heard. Or you need to keep quiet and you need to, not be loud, not be yourself, basically is what they're saying. And I honestly wish they would just come out and say that. I'm very direct. I am. I have my moments where I kind of draw back because I'm, working with people, but I don't like to draw back. I don't. I like to be extremely honest because it hinders people and it hinders your voice. It hinders your voice. And that's why we're having Worthiness Wednesdays, because what I'm noticing is that I have singers who don't fully understand their value. Not all of them are like this, but I do have some who have come to me like that. And they really do not understand that their self-worth is not rooted in being validated. Your self-worth is not rooted in your success. It's rooted in recognizing who you are and cultivating that. And as this word that always goes around, authentic, be your authentic self, be your real and true self. That's what people really want to see. If you really think about it, people are not paying you to be somebody else. People are not paying you to sound like somebody else. People want to hear your beautiful voice the way that God had intended for it to be. Did you know, by the way, that it is completely impossible for everybody to sound exactly the same because not everybody's anatomy is the same? Did you think about that? Not everybody's anatomy is the same. So you could not possibly sound like everyone else. So then what do you do with that? You then learn about your voice. And when I say your voice, I'm not talking about the part. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is understanding your anatomy. Look at your larynx. Or get a mannequin. If you must, get a mannequin and study the mannequin. Get a book. They have books, atlases on the human body where you can learn about where the larynx is, how it operates, how it functions, where your vocal cords are. You can even go get yours scoped and looked at personally, right? But you have to understand what is going on inside of you. And I mean that in more than one way. It's here, here, and here. And as a singer, when you know your value, you then take better care of yourself. You then take the initiative to practice. You take the initiative to focus on the things that matter the most to you, such as your health. I have been through the experience myself of not understanding my full worth, that I let myself kind of go because I didn't know where I was going. Oh God, that's it right there. When you don't know where you're going, you're not going to support it. Because you don't know what you're supporting. You don't know, you're not going to look for how to support it because you don't know what you're supporting. I have soprano sisters, same thing. Alto sisters, same thing. And I'm saying sisters because I have people who I've been in choirs with over the years. And I just noticed that pattern of not caring for yourself, but just doing enough just to get by and to, achieve a specific goal or success and be validated in that. And oh my gosh, that is not it. That is not it. And it took me years to understand that. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because it's so important that we understand how worthy we are of our gifts. Our gifts didn't just pop out of nowhere. It was bestowed upon us when we came here to this earth, and it began to develop. And this is another thing, you know, when you're young, you are much more vulnerable to be molded into different ways, concepts, perspectives, you know, and that has a lot to do with how we are or how we've been. But there comes a time, because I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm not gonna point blame on anybody, especially anyone who's had anything to do with me. I'm not gonna point any blame. You wanna know why? Because I have a brain, I have a mind, I have feelings, I have emotions, and I know who I am. And I don't have to listen to them. I don't have to let what was told to me when I was a younger singer affect me today. I can learn from it. I can say, what can I take from that experience and learn about it so that it doesn't happen again? And when I tell you, when I do that, it makes my life so much easier, because I'm not having to fit a narrative. I don't have to fit a narrative that wasn't for me. And that's just it. When we do stuff like that, when we take ourselves out of our worthiness state, we are literally giving up. We're laying the chips down on the floor. We are literally giving up on ourselves. And a lot of us didn't know that, you know, but we're waking up and we know that now. So, you know, there were, you know, several other people who have gone through this. It's not just us. I mean, even biblically, you have Moses, despite his self-doubt, who and he perceived inadequacies, but he led the Israelites out of Egypt. He still went through what God bestowed on him to do. He still did it anyways. You know, you have Isaiah. Oh, that's a good one. He felt worthy of it. He felt unworthy of his prophetic calling as well. But he became one of the major prophets, right? Like, there are a lot of impactful beings who've existed who did not feel fully worthy of themselves, or they didn't understand the direction of why they were gifted their gift. And we can learn from them and understand that even if we don't really fully see our full value yet, we can find it. We can find it and we can apply it. We can nurture it. It's never too late to find your self-worth and embrace that, because you're still alive. Just that there in itself. If you're still kicking and breathing and you're able to get up and move around, you still got air in your lungs, you still have time to discover your level of worthiness and cultivate that. You have time to grow it, you know? There is nothing worse to me. Now, maybe there are some things, I shouldn't say nothing worse, but in the world of music as a singer, I'll put it that way, there's nothing worse than a musician who has a gift. They have this gift, but they don't develop it. And the reason why they're not developing it is because they don't know their self-worth. They'd rather compare themselves to another artist, get trapped in that. They get trapped in that, and then they never blossom because they don't know their self-worth. They were looking at what they saw or what they heard from another singer or another musician. And that's where all their value went, like all their value. It just went flying to the other artist. They see something in that artist, but what they don't realize is that what they see, they have a bit of that inside them too, but they have to cultivate it. God is not going to give you everything. You have to grow it. You have to grow it. We have to grow ourselves. You know, that's something that I've had to realize. Oh God, it was not easy learning how to sing how I do now. Like even today, I still train. Musicians always work on their craft. Any successful person, they work on their craft. Like anybody who understands, I'll put it this way, because you have some people who are successful and maybe they're not really up to that level of understanding their self-worth, because there's different ways to be valuable, okay? But what I'm going towards here is regarding your self-worth. Understanding who you are as a person, as a musician, as a vocal musician, you know? That right there in a nutshell, when I say vocal musician, this is actually a really good point to what I'm talking about, because you have some people who they don't see singers as musicians. They'll say, oh, that's a singer. And these are musicians. They're talking about the instrumentalists, okay? Now, either your vocabulary or understanding of your musician terminology is extremely limited, or you really don't understand that vocalists, singers are musicians too. Because those of us who've gone to college to study music, yeah, we were actually sitting in the same music theory classes, the same ear training classes, the same composition classes, form and analysis classes, same, all of those courses that in the curriculum that's necessary for us to be considered musicians. That's what I consider a musician. No offense to anybody who has not taken those courses, but I mean, if you're going to go by the paper, I see a musician as someone who's actually taken time to study the craft. You don't have to have a degree. But if you have studied the craft, because you can go to the library and teach yourself how to be a musician for free. Free 99. Just get yourself a library card, take the books home, study it, go on Amazon, order the books, however you got to do it. Because not everybody has to go to a college to get the level of wisdom that they need to get. I don't believe that at all. Now, did I go that route? Yep. I went to college. It was funny that I had to go to college to find that out. Right? And no, I'm not telling anyone to not go to college. You go. If that's what you want to do, go. Go to college. Go get your education. Okay? Sometimes we need that. I'm one of those people where I'm actually glad I went, because it was motivating for me to get up every day to know I had to go see my instructor to get that done. To me, that's the benefit. These days, though, however, I'm much more self-taught, especially after getting my master's. I had to really lead myself. So, but, getting back to the point, we are vocal musicians, and vocal musicians tend to miss the full understanding of their self-worth, because they feel like they're not being valued, or maybe they're scared to say it. I've been there. Because you'll have certain people who will want to hire you to be a singer, or they'll hire you to join their group, and sing with them. And they'll be like, oh, well, they're going to do this with us, but they're not going to discuss anything that, would help you along the way monetarily. They always want to brush that under the rug, because they feel like they're the ones in control. I'm gonna tell you this right now too. We'll talk about this in another video. But when it comes to self-worth, you don't ever let anybody tell you how much that they're going to pay you to sing for them. It's a two-sided road. If they can't afford your value, then they don't need to have you. They can come back and get you when they're ready. That's how I see it. Now, it may be different when you're talking about a company, like an opera house or whomever, and they're actually paying you enough to survive. And that makes sense, right? You can negotiate. But I believe in negotiating. I don't, you're not going to tell me that I'm not worth it and then pay me like I'm not worth it. That's not going to work. I'm not going to do that. Right? And there's another side to that too. When you do really love doing things, people will say, "Oh, they'll do it for free." Right? And that's true. There are times when we will do things for free because we care about it and we enjoy it. But that's where you have to be careful, because you have some people who will take advantage of that, and they'll have you up there doing it every week, singing every week. Never mind the fact that your bills need to be paid, but they'll have you in there singing every week, right? And I understand. I'm gonna tell you right now, I understand that little part right there that I just said, it might rub some people the wrong way, but guess what? That don't matter to me, because I understand my self-worth. I understand my self-worth. And I would always tell another singer, just as one of my choral directors from college told me, don't ever let anybody pimp you, because they'll do it. And that's why it's important that you understand your self-worth. You've got to understand your self-worth, especially as a musician, so that you can prevent yourself from being caught up in a trap of doubt, confusion, pain, animosity, just all kinds of different things that could happen to you, you know? Because we have a gift that we take time to cultivate. We have a gift that God gave us with. God gave us. And that gift is meant to be grown and flourished, not brushed over by dirt. That's not what this is, because we are worthy. We are worthy. We're worthy to be heard. We're worthy to be seen. We're worthy to love ourselves. We're worthy to develop ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why I teach. This is why I love teaching voice, because like so many students, they'll come to me and they'll say, it's so funny how I came to you for voice lessons, but I feel like I had a therapy session as well. And I also have a master's in that. And that is so funny. I think it's just because I'm nurturing. I'm a nurturer. I love helping people solve their problems. That's a passion of mine. In addition to singing, and I had no idea that would be something that I would be interested in until it just happened, until I opened up my studio and started teaching and helping other singers figure out, okay, well, what am I lacking? What am I missing? Because that's what happens when they come. If they're not already to a certain level of understanding their self-worth, they'll say, oh, I don't know if I can sing that. I'm not really comfortable singing that, or I just feel like I can't practice it. Like or they'll just not practice at all. They won't practice. That's the big red flag right there. And I'll have to say, well, is this something that you really want to do? Is this something that you're really passionate about? Do you feel worthy enough to do this? Like, is this, And when I ask those questions, usually, of course, they're thinking and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I do love that. And I do feel like I'm worth it, And I'm like, well, great. I think you're worth it too. But I have to hear that from you, because this is your life. This is your investment in yourself. Even though I know that you're worth it, I can't force feed you to believe that you're worth it. I can help guide you to understand that and help you develop that understanding about yourself, but I cannot force you to understand it, And by that point, we'll start coming up with a plan on how to help them with, discovering more of their worth and what they could do to help develop their self-worth and what they do in their musicianship abilities and singing and all of those wonderful things. Because what we don't want to do as musicians is compare ourselves so much. Excuse me. What we don't want to do is to try to measure ourselves so much or compare ourselves so much to someone else that we hurt our own voice and our voice goes away. Because when you compare yourself, you literally lock out who you truly are, and your natural voice literally will not develop. Literally, it will not develop. You're shutting yourself down when you try to compare yourself to another singer. I remember I used to compare myself to Whitney Houston. Vocally, I would compare myself to her. Who else was it? Mariah Carey when it came to the high notes, right? And then, Toni Braxton, or Anita Baker. Oh gosh, those are contraltos. Had no idea that I was not tapping into me. I was trying to tap into them and didn't realize this, right? And I love them. Oh my gosh, growing up as a kid in the 90s and listening to them and knowing that, oh my gosh, I can sing. Let me, sing their music. Nothing wrong with that now. There's nothing wrong with singing someone else's music. But where the trouble comes in is when you try to you try to basically allow who they are to shadow your voice and how you sound. And then you forget about yourself and you don't develop that. That's what most people are doing. That is exactly what most people are doing. Most musicians, most singers, they are doing that. And they defeat themselves doing that. And it's weird because if you pull the rug from up underneath them, so to speak, and you start to get them to tap into their own sound, that's when they hear all the kinks and cracks and, oh goodness, I didn't know I couldn't hit that note or I couldn't sing that. Yeah. But that's the purpose of taking voice lessons. This is the reason why it's important for you to understand who you are so that you can actually have a voice, because then you know how your voice works, right? You know how your voice works. You know how to develop it, or you'll learn how to develop it along the way, right? Because even though the gift is given to us, we still have to do our own research. I look at singing as an experiment, so to speak, because, again, not every singer is a one-size-fits-all. I would never say, oh, yeah, she can do this, so you should be able to do this too. No, maybe not necessarily. Do you know how many different variations of sopranos and altos and basses and tenors exists? Don't forget baritone. Oh my gosh. Every soprano is not the same. You have lyric soprano, you have coloratura, you have speedto, right? There's so many. That's not even all of them. There's more. Everybody's different. But everybody's unique. And that's what's needed. But you got to understand how worthy you are in your gift in order to propel yourself to where you've got to be. And you've got to work on your gift. I didn't understand all of that when I was younger. I did not. I wish I had. Oh gosh. I wish I had understood how worthy I am to have my gift at that time. But my gosh, If I had known that, I would imagine now how much more further I would be, right? But even in that, I'm grateful for my journey. My journey is wonderful. I still sing opera. I still perform. And I'm teaching people. And I see that in itself as a gift, because I'm teaching people how to develop themselves as singers and how to find their worthiness, how to be worthy to themselves. Because sometimes what we see as worthiness is not really worthiness. So because we're not really giving ourselves all that we can. We're not. We'll, pull the rug from underneath ourselves and go watch something that we shouldn't be watching, wasting our time, like, flipping the videos on Facebook for 10 hours, and the whole day's gone by and opportunity's gone. Try again tomorrow, right? Like, this is just an example. There's several other different variations of that, but still. So before I wrap up, I wanted to share this with you. So I will be doing a 4-week singer development course. I think I may have already put the link in the description. If I haven't, I will. But I encourage you to join. Because one of my missions is to teach singers how to sing, but then also understanding what's going on with them inside, here, and here. Those are the things that's missing. I see that often. You have people who can sing and they're wonderful singers, but they don't connect their worthiness to their sound and their development as a singer. They're missing that part. And you can see it in the performance. You can see it in their struggle to even attain or to achieve where they need to be, where they want to be, because they lack that, not the confidence. A lot of them have the confidence, but they don't understand their self-worth as singers. And that's very dangerous when it comes to the music, the music, the world of music. You know what I mean? Like, you can easily get taken advantage of if you don't know your self-worth, singers. Easily. It's not hard. But when you have something there that's going to help guide you along the way, which is something that a lot of us have missed out on, or we've developed that in different ways. You know what I mean? But when we have that foundation that helps us understand our self-worth as singers, you know what I mean? Like that coach, that mentor that teaches us, hey, you can do these things, be aware of this. How are you really feeling? Asking the singer themselves, because guess what? It's not about the coach. It's about you. It's about you. It took me years to be able to get a coach that's like that. That's when my eyes open and I'm like, oh my gosh, this really is about me. It's not about the coach. It's not about the number of performances that I have to do. It's about developing the gift. Because the gift is what God needs us to develop in order to be an amazing singer and to touch the lives of other people. That's so important. What's the purpose of having a gift if you don't develop it? You might as well just hang it up. But I am pro-growth. I'm pro-growth and development when it comes to singers and musicians. Because it is so important. We need that. Our souls and our spirits need that. And when we understand our self-worth and who we are deeply on the inside, then that just makes our confidence and our self-worth and our achievements worth so much more than we could have ever imagined. So, I will, if I haven't again, I will go ahead and make sure that I put that link in the description. I would love for you to join me. Thank you so much, you guys. By the way, we're almost at 2,600 followers. I am so grateful for that. I just want to let you know that. I'm very grateful for that. And I am looking to, of course, I want to see how I can get it, see how it is to get to 10,000 followers and subscribers on here. So please, if you know anybody who can benefit from this video, please share it. Please share my channel with them. I'm going to be here every Wednesday. Again, unless there's a holiday or some special event that I have to attend, and I will let you know beforehand. I will not be here on that Wednesday. But this is a regular thing. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? 4-week senior development course. In that course, I'm providing personalized guidance to everybody who's in there. We're going to work on tools that'll help you with your development as a singer. And you'll have a very supportive community. That's another thing, is having that community that's going to help you along the way. You get to grow and see each other along the way, to develop your voice and your skills. Sometimes we need that extra boost and to cheer someone else on as well. You know, I love doing that. I love motivating people. Hence why I'm here. Hence why I'm here. So, by the way, I'm in Northeast Florida and it's getting ready to storm. So I'm getting ready to wrap this up for now. But listen, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Drop me a comment. If you have some questions about your voice, or maybe you're looking for some guidance, even in your self-worth, you know, how to look at yourself and really define how you value yourself and improve, reach out to me. Also, check out our music school's website, Jordan School of Music, www.jordanschoolofmusic.com. You can find more information on there about me and how to get enrolled if you guys are interested. If anybody's local to Jacksonville, Florida, and you want to come in for a private lesson with me or any of our other teachers, you're more than welcome to go there and get signed up. And check out our blogs. I do weekly blogs, emails, etc. You can subscribe on there. But Voice Launch Masterclass, I'm right here on YouTube. And I'm here cheering you guys on. I want to see more singers who have the confidence and understanding of their worth out here singing and being happy with themselves, being prideful of themselves, and not feeling discouraged. It's too much of that. We need to come together and work to develop our worthiness. And thus, here we are on Worthiness Wednesdays. All right. I'll talk to you guys next Wednesday. In between this time, I will be, of course, posting shorts as well. So send me some suggestions if you have anything regarding any questions you have, and I'll make some shorts for you on that as well, or any additional videos. All right. Thank you again for supporting my channel. If you like this topic today and it's helped you, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next Wednesday. Take care.